Ladies and gentlemen, you are now watching and listening to Real Talk with Ronnie, with your host, Ronald Lynn. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Real Talk with Ronnie. I'm Ronald Lynn, your fantastic host. So we're back today for another great episode. Our guest this week is no stranger to our show. He's been on our show many times. It feels like we catch up with this guest every few months. And rightfully so, because he's a big star, he's a good friend, and we're always glad to have him on. His name is Billy Prempeh. So let's throw him on. Hey, Billy.
How's it going, Ron?
What's up? Captain America.
My favorite, bro.
So, Billy, the last time we spoke was actually your first interview post-election.
Yeah. That was in November, I think.
Yeah, so you were very nice to give me your first post-election catch-up. So it's been like 3 or 4 months since then. I don't think I've seen you in person since then, but we've
we haven't
spoke on the phone, right?
Yeah.
We've texted, but what's new, man?
Not much, man. I've been staying involved politically. I've been helping with the candidates that are running in LD 36 right now, and I'm really focused on trying to increase the Republican turnout here in Patterson. We're trying to rebuild the Republican Party here, and a lot of momentum starting to change, especially after what happened recently in our city. I'm pretty sure you heard about it. The Attorney General recently took over the Patterson Police Department, and a ton of people are pissed off about that. Many people are looking for different outlets politically, and I actually went to the city council meeting the other day, said a couple of words, and let them know what was on my mind, and also reaffirmed my intentions to run for Congress in 2024, and let them know that this wouldn't have happened if they would have gotten rid of the existing mayor and got rid of the congressperson that has supported him and is propping him up for his what would have been his congressional term in 2024. So it's very interesting. For a while, I even told you last time that more likely than not, it's going to be Benji Wimberly or Andre Syed. It's going to run again. I don't see Andre Syed running after this happened. He's messed up one too many times in a short period of time, and I don't think Benji's looking to run either. But old man Bill Pascrell has definitely made the announcement that he will attempt to run again. I don't think he's going to be able to make it this go around. And I think the only reason why he's doing it is because his golden boy looks like crap right now. And I'm just adding more insult to injury while I'm doing that.
Okay, so a couple of questions. Why did the state attorney general take over the Patterson Police Department?
So there's been a lot of issues with misconduct in the Patterson Police Department. There's been a couple of bad apples that have made some really bad mistakes inside the police department, most of which include robbing some of the citizens. We had about 4 or 5 police officers that got sent to jail for that, multiple instances of police brutality and uses of excessive force.
Billy, when you say that the police rob citizens, you mean like what, like at gunpoint, or
no? Like they were robbing drug dealers and like selling the drugs. Like they were doing like gangster stuff, you know. So it was like the stuff you would see on movies. Is what they were doing, and a lot of that really stems from the leadership at the very top. Like the Patterson Police Department has gone through 3 different police chiefs in the entire span that Saye has been mayor, which would be about 4 years at this point now, and despite that, nothing has actually changed. At the end of the day, the leadership is what sucks. The mayor sucks. Everything that he tries to put forward sucks. The police don't trust him. The morale is low. And with all these things kind of compounding, it led to people within the city requesting that the federal government take control of the police department, which I don't agree with at all. I don't even agree with the attorney general taking control of the police department, but it just kind of goes on to reflect how negatively the leadership has failed the people within the city. And the worst part about it is many people, and I heard this comment being said a lot during the council meeting, is that why is this kind of crap always happening in Democrat cities? And I'm like, oh, it's kind of funny that you guys are starting to finally realize that. It's not like I haven't been saying that for the past 3.5 years, but it's good that people are starting to realize that, and they're starting to see that this party doesn't represent them in the way that they say that it does. They're failing the hell out of us. People are dying. People are getting pushed out of their own community. And that cancer's starting to spread all across the country. So I think it's good that people are starting to see it firsthand, how their policies have failed us, and changes need to be made. And I think this is a step in the right direction, despite the fact that I don't agree with the Attorney General's decision to take control. I hope that it's temporary and we have some better leadership. I think the mayor should be recalled and removed, and they should have a special election. That's what a lot of people are looking to do within the city, and there's several recall petitions going on at the moment to ensure that happens. So very, very interesting developments going on in the city over here.
Okay, so the fact that a Democratic state AG has decided to take over the police department of a Democratic city, that seems like pretty big news, right? So was there any one thing that kind of prompted this, or was it just like a lot of things that happened and this was just, it was the tipping point?
It was a tipping point. It was more like the straw breaking the camel's back, but there were two instances for sure that led to the straw breaking the camel's back. And the first would be the death of Najee Seabrooks. He was a community activist in the city. He took some substances and kind of went off on the deep end. He was having a mental health breakdown, and I agree with some of the things that the family has stated. The police department sent a SWAT team to try, not necessarily a SWAT team, but an armed unit to try and defuse the situation, which I think wasn't very smart. To be fair, Najee was saying, he had a gun, he had a weapon, he was going to use it on the police, and there were a couple of things that were being said, but I think that there were other alternatives that could have been done to help take that down. For example, I know you can't get family members inside there to speak with him, but even having someone on loudspeaker, or at least a voice that he could hear while this person is going through a mental situation, to try and talk him off the ledge and calm him down, and try and find a better way to resolve that. Like, this was a guy that was really well known in the community. He was he worked with something was called the Patterson Healing Collective, which was a group that was used to help people who have been involved in shootings or victims of gun violence within the city of Patterson. He himself was a former victim of gun violence, and coming from that same kind of environment, he was trying to turn a new leaf and be a positive light for people in the community. So it was sad the way that he went out, and the police were aware of this. I think that there were a lot of precautions that could have been made, and alternative actions that could have been done. But to be fair, it's a very complicated situation, and that culminated with another young teen that was beaten up right in front of the library the other day. I don't know what he was doing or what the crime was, but they picked him up and slammed the guy, started kneeing him in the head. And I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm just laughing at how crazy the whole thing is. They started kneeing the kid in the head, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah,
it was like the police.
Yeah, knee strikes are illegal in accordance to the police training.
Now,
so
in terms of that first incident where the individual was, you said he was under the substance, right? Is it determined what sort of substance he was on?
I don't know, but I don't know, but I would assume probably like I don't know, maybe like wet or something. I wouldn't know.
Okay, excuse my ignorance, but what's wet?
PCP.
Oh, okay.
What's wet?
I don't know. I'm like a pretty prim and proper guy. I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, so my bad. Yeah, PCP.
Okay, PCP. All right. Is that like street lingo for PCP? Wet?
Yeah, don't ever do that shit ever, because it'll turn you into a maniac. Okay, yeah, because you never heard it, so I'm just saying, like,
right.
If someone ever says, like, "Hey, you want what?" You don't.
Okay.
No, don't do that.
I mean, I am familiar with wet wipes. I might use those a lot for my kids when they change diapers, but that's separate than wet, right?
Completely.
Okay.
Completely.
Okay. Now, is it projected for how long of a period the AG is going to take over the police department for? Or
no, and that's why I think there needs to be a set period for how long they're going to take over the police department, and I think there needs to be a set plan and action as to what they're going to do to not just return the power to the people, but ensure that something like this doesn't happen again, where we don't need the attorney general to be running the police department.
Now, from your experience after going to that town hall, right, where you said a lot of people spoke up and it was very angry, right? Does it seem to you that most of the blame for this debacle is being fallen on the mayor or on the police chief or on who?
See, it's not even really being placed on the police chiefs at all, because at the end of the day, the mayor replaced the chief 3 times. The first pick that you chose was the first Muslim police chief in Patterson. That was that's what he was touting it as, and that's not like a dig at the guy's religion. That's just how the mayor advertised it. This is the first black police chief in the city of Patterson, and this is a good thing. But he was absolutely terrible at being a police chief, and crime skyrocketed as soon as he took the position. And it's not even just the mayor that the problem falls on, because like while a lot of people are directing their energy at the mayor, people are also starting to open their eyes and realize that it's not just the mayor. It's like the whole entire clique of people, everybody that's associated with him, from the governor down to the congressperson to the assembly person, even the people that are sitting in the council are starting to realize that it's like the same cadre of corruption, as I would call them. Those same people are the same people telling us to come out and vote for them, and we get the exact same results, and it only gets worse while they sit there and pretend like they care. So it's more than just the mayor, but the mayor is definitely the focus of a lot of the frustration right now,
Okay.
and rightfully so.
I like that term, cadre of corruption. I think that's
Yeah.
that's a good book title, right?
Cadre of corruption, right? Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea.
You should go ahead and try to copyright that.
All right. Anybody that's watching this is my idea.
Right. Okay. Now, you said that there is a effort right now to maybe possibly recall the mayor, right?
Yeah.
If that effort is successful and the mayor is on the ballot for a recall effort, is that something that you would be interested in stepping in to do, to run for mayor?
I don't know. It would depend. It would really depend on the interests of the people within the city. If the people want me to run for a position like that, then sure, I would. A lot of people are focused on me running for Congress right now. There are some other candidates that may run for mayor. I don't know if they would or not, if it happened, but we'll just have to wait and see when that
Right.
situation actually comes up. If it does come up, and there's a good shot at winning, it would make no sense for me not to run.
Right. Now, what would be the timeline of that process if it were to go through? Are we looking at in a few months, in a year, or?
It could be as fast as the signatures are collected, honestly. As fast as the signatures are collected and it's put into motion.
Okay. Now, do you know of anyone who's leading that effort to collect the signatures, or?
As of right now, there are a few people. There are about 2 different people within the city. I know one of the council members has told me that they're interested in doing something like that. So there's quite a few people. No solid organized effort right now, as of right now. But there's definitely a lot of talk of it. There's a lot of people trying to get it in motion. So we'll see.
Okay. Now, in terms of your congressional run for 2024, you're definitely in, right?
I'm in.
Okay. Was there any one sort of issue or information that kind of solidified your decision to actually run again for a third time? Because I think the last time that we spoke, you were kind of hovering, right? You were like, I might jump in or I might not. What was it for you that made you definitively say, I'm running again in 24?
What made me definitively say it was when I got the numbers for Bergen County, because like I saw that I got 43.4% or 43.3%, if I'm not mistaken, the last time I saw the numbers. And I didn't look at the numbers at an individual level. And when I saw in Bergen County that I lost with less than 1,000 votes, we lost with less than 1% of the vote, and we did exceptionally well, even with the very low turnout. And while even with the low turnout, I increased my percentage while the Democrats significantly decreased their percentage. And within the city of Patterson, it was historically low, the lowest he's ever gotten in his entire 30 plus year political career. I'm talking school board all the way down. It's probably the lowest he's ever gotten. So that actually really stood out to me. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, this guy is not as strong as he used to be. He's getting weaker and weaker. Everything that we've done so far has completely showed that it's worth it and it's working. We've got an opportunity to change it and get rid of the guy. And it looks like his support base is starting to fall apart from right underneath him. I even see him on social media. His main focus is spreading propaganda and memes that talk about exaggerations and straight up lies about the Republican Party, rather than actually presenting solutions to the average American person that's struggling right now, especially under his policies. Like, he has nothing to say about any of the things that have been going on in our community. Even this shooting that happened in our community that's completely rocked the city, he hasn't said a word about the attorney general taking over. And that's because the mayor is his golden boy. He's more preoccupied with keeping that political dynasty and uh, uh, keeping that control within that little cadre of corruption, like I was saying, rather than actually doing what's right for the American people. So I think that the fact that I was so close in Bergen County, it made me see that this man can bleed. He's not immortal. He's absolutely beatable, and I'm seeing my not just my popularity, but my numbers increase in areas like the city of Patterson. And my strategy of telling Democrats that if you can't vote for me because I'm a Republican, then don't vote against me. I can see that that worked out significantly well, especially in Patterson. And I don't think any other Republican candidate is going to be able to replicate that if they tried. Because even if you run, no matter what, if you can't get those numbers down or even win Patterson, you lose. And one thing's for certain, especially now after everything that's gone on with our mayor bringing in developers and outsiders and random people, they don't trust people who are not from the city, or someone who's not from the area coming in and saying they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and they actually don't. So it's going to take someone extremely compelling, someone that understands the community, someone that's willing to fight for them to actually help harness those votes or at least shift the tide in that area while drawing it in closer in Bergen County and scooping up the rest in Hudson County. You'd be able to win that race. And looking at the numbers that I've seen in 2020, all the way up until 2022, I've seen that increase. Even if we don't factor in the new Republican towns that have been added in, if we focus just on the South Bergen portion, for example, it's definitely gotten redder, right? So it's like I don't just want to factor in, and that's what I see New Jersey Globe and a lot of the
Oh,
other.
definitely. When you look at the Wallingtons, the Carlstads,
Yeah.
the Rutherfords, right? Those are cities or towns in Bergen County and South Bergen that are getting redder and redder each election cycle, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason why I bring that up is because I don't want to, because I see that happening on New Jersey Globe. They say, well, Billy did so well because of redistricting. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not going to downplay that redistricting definitely did play a role in helping us achieve those numbers, but it wasn't a significant bulk at all. I mean, in fact, the areas that we already had, like you said, they got redder. And many of them voted in ways they didn't vote before. And in bluer areas like Patterson and Passaic, the turnout was significantly lower, where we focused a lot of our efforts on either telling people to vote Republican or just don't vote at all, or not don't vote at all, don't vote against me is what I'm saying. If you like my ideas, don't vote against me. If you like a Democrat, go and vote for the Democrat you like. But if you like me and you can't stand Pascal, don't vote against me.
Okay.
Give me a shot.
Two follow-up questions. So the other day when you were at the town hall meeting and there were a lot of residents that were angry, right? Do those residents know that you ran for Congress last year?
Yes.
And did they vote for you?
I would say in that room, about 20% of the room voted for me. Okay. About 20 to 25% of that room voted for me. Now, you might have also noticed in that room there were a lot of socialists and Black Lives Matter people. Obviously, those guys did not vote for me. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. A couple of them actually did vote for me. I know of at least maybe 3 or 4 of them that did vote, that were there that night, that actually did vote for me, which is interesting. And they know I don't like socialism. They know I'm not a fan of that. But the fact that they can at least see the value in what I stand for and believe in my message and are willing to work with me, I think that's more than enough. And I think that's what it's going to take to actually, move that city forward as well as move the district forward. It's like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend at the end of the day, right. At least in this specific instance. I don't necessarily have to agree with the socialism, but what I do agree with is that we need to fix the crap that's going on in our community. We need to hold our elected officials accountable. We need to take care of the people that are falling on the wayside and so forth. I agree with a lot of the things that they do as well. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, going back to the 2024 race, right? Between you and the nomination, there stands in your way a guy named Vince Miko, who I think we both know, right? He is the only other declared candidate for CD9. And I hope to have him on too on this show at some point in the future. But do you see Vince as a potential obstacle in your way of getting the nomination?
No, I don't. At first I did, but I don't because of I think the work that I've done stands for itself, and the the impact that I've left stands for itself. I've impacted a lot of people. There's a lot of people that have not been involved in politics ever until I got involved and got them into the political sphere. And more people than ever are fired up to actually come out and vote and do something. And, granted, Vince ran before in 2006 and I believe 2004, which is good on him for doing that. But he also disappeared for the entire 15 years that Bill Pascrell was congressperson, even in the older previous district. And I ran in that district and still broke a record when I ran in that district. So when people see that kind of stuff, they say, well, this guy ran when he was up against all odds. He ran again a second time, did even better. And now he wants to show up and try and run when I've already laid the groundwork. People are going to see that as disingenuous, whether now if I'm not in the race, it's one thing, but if I'm in the race and you decide to continue to run anyway, like people are going to see that as disingenuous. People are already showing me that. I've literally got a gallery on my phone with about 100 text messages from like 100 different people forwarding me Vince Miko's text messages, recording phone calls and things that he's saying, telling people that, that I'm not actually running for office and that I'm applying to be a police officer. In fact, I can even show you something. Give me 1 second, just to kind of put that to rest.
Okay. So we wait while Billy gathers the evidence. This is an exclusive. So I guess this is the first time he is showing this on air, right?
Say what?
This is an exclusive, right? I'm assuming this is the first time you are showing this information on air?
Correct. This, if I'm not mistaken, is the... Yes. So this is a letter from... Black out my address real quick. So there you go. See, William S. Prempeh from the Patterson Police Department for the civil service, stating that I passed the test. Right? I was supposed to report March 4th. What's today's date?
Well, as of this taping, it's March 31st. So I'm assuming that you did not report, right?
I mean, you just watched me open that letter right in front of you, so there's the answer. I did not fill out the form and send that over, so no, that's a straight up lie. I applied to take the test because why not? It's free, and I wouldn't have an opportunity to do it after the fact. I don't know what the future holds, and I wanted to see something better for my community. But obviously, running for office at this point seems like a better option. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be a police officer anytime soon.
So breaking news, right?
That's not breaking news at all. But,
okay. Just so you heard it here first, Billy Prempeh is not running or is not applying to become a police officer anytime in the near future of Patterson, right?
No. It would have. I'm like, hey, look, it's civil service test. Why not? That's why I took the test.
Okay, now speaking of Mr. Miko, so let's just say, and I'm playing devil's advocate, right? Let's say that Vince ends up winning the line, because in Jersey we have the coveted line in all the counties, right? Let's say that Vince Miko ends up winning the line in Bergen County and in Passaic County, and you mount an off-the-line challenge in the primary. Do you think you would still be able to overtake him?
I don't think it would have to come to a point where I'd have to run off the line to beat Miko. I just don't see that happening. Even if it were to happen, and Vince Miko were to win the line, he's not going to win the primary.
Right.
I'm just going to say that with full confidence. He's not going to win the primary. But I don't see myself running off the line.
Okay, no, but I'm saying if you were to run off the line, and we're talking about a primary in June, right?
He wouldn't win.
No? Okay. What makes you so confident?
The same things I've already stated. I mean, it's like if you're gonna run in that primary and you're gonna go against me, and a lot of the people, many of them, I would consider power players within the 9th district, literally hundreds of them, reaching out to me, basically laughing at him. Saying, hey, I need $3 million to fight Pascrell, and you're some guy who literally came out of nowhere. Sure, you have experience running before in the past, but you disappeared, and now suddenly you're the guy that's gonna win. It's just extremely disingenuous, and people who I know can get quite a lot of votes, people that are pretty big donors that have helped support my campaign. They're not going to help him. That doesn't mean that he's not going to be able to raise funds. I'm pretty sure there's some deep pocket, people within the NJGOP that like that very cookie cutter type of Republican that'll support him. But I don't see him being able to beat me now.
Okay. Well, that's 2024, right? So let's leave 24 for 24. Let's talk about a bit about 2023, right? This year. What is your prognosis for this year's races? And what do you think is ultimately going to happen in terms of the state legislature? Is it going to flip, or is it going to not? Or what do you think?
The only areas I've really been focused on right now are districts 35, 38, and 36, mainly 36 because I'm helping the candidates with their campaign in District 36. I think those guys have an extremely, extremely serious shot at flipping District 36, especially considering the fact that these guys came out of nowhere. They had no funds. They ran their campaign on a write-in campaign. They got on the ballot, and they ended the race with 41% as basically unknowns in that race. Now they have an army. Now they have a team. We're reaching out to people, and we're getting lots of people registered to vote by mail, which is going to be critical in this upcoming election. Because if I lost my race, for example, with less than 1,000 votes, they lost their race by about 4,000 or 5,000 votes. All those could be easily scooped up with vote by mail. And as we see it, there's about 18,500 unaffiliated Republicans as well that have not voted in the past 2 or 3 election cycles, right? So that's including Republicans, unaffiliateds, and Conservative Party and everyone else that kind of leans right, essentially, that haven't voted in that cycle. So of those 18,000 people, if we can get just an additional 5,000 for safety's sake, let's say an additional 8,000 of them that come out and vote through the vote by mail efforts that we're doing right now, I think we can seriously close the gap, and they've got a great shot at winning. And I would say the same goes for the people in District 38. They have an even smaller gap than the guys have in District 36. And I think they've got a good shot. What I see going on, though, is it seems to be a little bit of 3 different horses going in 3 different directions over there in District 38. But, like all campaigns, that's usually how they start off. I think at some point in the middle of the year, probably around like August or so, they should probably have a more tightened and unified message by then, hopefully. And I think they're going to do great. The county candidates, Aganshala Collins and Mary Jo Ginchard, I think they're a great pair. I think they've got the charisma to be able to match a role that's going to require you meeting all kinds of people across the county. And you ran for commissioner before, so you know how taxing that is. And
I was at their event last night. They had a karaoke birthday party event, and it was a packed crowd. So I'm very happy for those two.
Yeah, I really hope it was. I wasn't able to make it, unfortunately, but I do intend on sending a donation to the campaign, and you can hold me to that. That's on video. I am going to send a donation to them. Okay.
But anyway, the Collins and Ginchard team, I think they're a fantastic team, and they really have a lot of chemistry. I mean,
100%.
They're like BFFs already.
I know, right? I know. Yeah, so I think they've got a very good shot, and I think that this is a very solid ticket here in Bergen County from the way I see things. The way I look at things in Passaic County, it just seems very...
Well, in Passaic County, how many county seats are up this year?
So they have 2 commissioner seats and the county clerk seats. I am not enthusiastic about this race at all, honestly.
Who are the candidates for clerk and county commissioners?
So there's Kelly Amico, who's a state committee woman, New Jersey state committee woman, and I can't remember the other woman's name. I've only met her about twice in passing, but when I tried to speak with her, she seemed very standoffish, didn't want to talk to me, so I don't give a shit about her because she doesn't seem to give a shit about me, so it is what it is. But and then the candidate that's running for county clerk, I actually had a very strong conversation with Peter Murphy about this because I'm pissed off about this. He chose a Democrat that recently ran as a Democrat for council in Clifton. She won, 4th largest vote getter in Clifton as a Democrat. She switched Republican, whatever that means. and is now running and instantly got the nomination for county clerk. I believe it's a deal that the Democrats and the Republicans made, and that's why that's being done. I don't think this was any legitimate,
What is her name?
Rosemary Pino. But hey, if she wins, she wins. Fantastic. I'm just not enthusiastic about that race because it just seems like it seems like the whole race is being focused on the clerk candidate, and that's who they really care about. It doesn't seem like there's much focus on the
Well, I mean, couldn't it just be that
commissioner
she
candidates.
actually had a change of heart and she converted to the Republican Party? That she really believes in the views of the GOP?
That's a possibility, and I don't doubt it. But she campaigned hard with the Democrats, so I highly doubt it. But you never say never. She probably got screwed over and said, I'm done with this party, and that's a very strong possibility. I don't think that's the case at all. Just judging from what I've seen and the way she's run her race, I think she's still very Democrat at heart. But who am I to say? I haven't had a proper conversation with her, so I can't judge.
Okay. Now, today is Friday, the 31st. Last night there was breaking news, right? President Trump was indicted.
Yep.
What are your thoughts?
So we were talking about that on our show last night, and I think that's gonna get Trump reelected, 100%. And I think that's all there is to it. He's gonna end up getting reelected because of it, because it just shows the abuse of power at this point. Like, I don't see something happening in Manhattan stifling him from running for president. He can still run, even if he does go get a felony charge for. He can still run for president, unless Congress scurries to change the laws. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. I don't think Trump's losing this. I don't think Trump's losing this. I think this is a great PR campaign for him, and it just shows how ridiculous the legal system has become in the United States. So yeah, that's just all my thoughts on that.
Okay. I have a bit of a, I guess, conspiracy theory, right? What if the Democrats right now, right? They're looking at the Republican Party. They're looking at the candidates who are running for president. So far, I mean, Ron DeSantis has not declared yet, but everyone knows that he plans on running, right? What if in Democrats' mind, they think that actually for them, it's better for the nominee from their side to go up against Trump? Because in their mind, they're thinking, we actually beat him in 2020. He's easy to beat. So why don't we indict him, galvanize his base, make sure he gets the nomination. Therefore, he would be the easier target. What do you think?
I think that could backfire tremendously for them as well. My main thing is this: is like, Trump said he's running for office, fantastic, but Trump needs to have a sophisticated plan in place to ensure that they're not able to pull any chicanery like they did in 2020. If he doesn't have a sophisticated plan in place, all this is a waste of time. But even if they were to do that, who's the candidate that they're going to put up? I think that's the more important question, because like, this isn't going to work with Joe Biden a second time. 81 million people are not coming out of the woodwork to vote for Joe Biden.
Well, I mean, it worked the first time, right? So maybe they're thinking, if it ain't broken,
while it
let's
may
not
have
fix it,
worked
right?
while it may have worked the first time, you're going to have to shut down the country, force everybody to vote by mail again, and I don't know if Americans are going to fall for it. They probably will, but I don't think they will. I don't know. Maybe they won't. But you're going to have to lock the country down to do something like that again. And you're going to need someone way more compelling than Joe Biden. Especially, there's a lot of Democrats right now. Like, let's not.
Well, there's a lot of candidates out there who are waiting to run if Biden doesn't run, right? I mean, we got Phil Murphy wants to run.
Yeah, Phil
Like
Murphy's
Gavin
got no
Newsom.
shot. He's got no shot at being Trump. No shot. I don't think he's got any shot at all. Sure, he's probably got a lot of outsider money, Goldman Sachs money. I don't see him being able to beat Trump. The only person that I think could beat Trump if they were to run, and I don't think they will, would be Michelle Obama.
Well, never say never. I mean, if push comes to shove,
That's
I mean,
the only compelling. That's the
run.
only person compelling enough to win, and they're not even political like that. That's the only person compelling enough. It's like, who Hillary Clinton's not going to be able to do it. Kamala Harris, that's a joke. Joe Biden, he can't do it again. Hakeem Jeffries, possibly, if he's built correctly, possibly. Right. Who else?
Hakeem Jeffries is actually, I actually heard him speak when on the same day that Kevin McCarthy was.
Yeah, Obama 2.0.
And he's actually a really good speaker. I was actually pretty, impressed.
He's Obama. He's Obama 2.0. That's what I'm saying. Like if he's packaged right, he'd probably be able to do that, because what the Democrats need to win right now, at least to beat Trump, they need someone that they can galvanize behind. The same way that Americans and conservatives and regular blue collar people galvanized around Trump and he built a movement. The Democrats are going to be able, they're going to need to be able to do that. I guess the closest person to be able to do something like that was Bernie Sanders, but he's a socialist. There's also a lot of Democrats that aren't stupid that don't like socialism, so I think that's also why he didn't get over the edge. But granted, they also stole it from him. I'm gonna keep it there. But
Well,
yeah,
your opponent in District 9, Bill Pascrell, he's running again in 24, right? And by that time, he'll be how old? Like 87?
he'll be 88.
Yeah, so I mean, Joe Biden compared to Bill Pascrell is a baby, right? So I mean,
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Man, that guy's got a heart like a nuclear factory, man. That thing's never gonna die. That's good. That's good. And many years to him, man.
Okay, now let's talk about a little bit about your show, because I know you have to go. Your show is on every Thursday night, right? And what is it called? And what do you got to talk about?
Every Thursday, 8 p.m., Revive America. We talk about literally everything that happens in the United States. Nothing is off topic. Nothing is cut off. We're an uncensored show, so there is foul language for some of the people that can't stomach that. But we talk about a lot of the issues and the things that the mainstream media is either covering, or even some stories that they're not covering, or even some stories that are buried. Like last night, for example, we were talking about the Minnesota chemical spill that happened. Many people were not aware of that situation. We like to talk about issues that are going to be potentially affecting our economy from a geopolitical perspective as well too. We were last night talking about the BRICS coalition. I don't know if you're familiar about that, or how they're trying to galvanize against the U.S. dollar.
Russia, India, and China, right?
Yeah, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, yeah. And and now there's more countries trying to join that. So big threat right there. So we talk about all kinds of things.
Okay, and how would people find your show?
So they can find our show by either looking us up on social media, or Revive America, or they can go to the website revive-usa.com and tune in and check us out.
Let me throw that up here. Revive-USA.com. And I've seen it. It's a pretty good show. It's actually pretty entertaining too. I mean, not as entertaining as Real Talk with Ronnie, but I mean, it definitely rivals us.
That's the goal, man. You got to make it fun. You got to make it fun, keep it engaging. So, right. Yeah.
So, revive-usa.com. That's how you catch Billy and his co-host. Your co-host is David, right?
Yeah, Dave Herrera. He also ran for council in Brunswick as well.
Yeah, I think last night your co-host was Jasmine Gray, though, right?
Yeah, because he's away for a couple of weeks. So Jasmine was
by the way. How is
she? She's doing good. She's doing fantastic.
Is she going to run again for a council seat in Rutherford?
It's become a running joke where I ask her to run and she doesn't want to run anymore. She's completely burnt and checked out.
Well, I actually think that Jasmine should probably run for like president, because when she was running for council, she was at the border, every day.
And it's funny because it's funny that you mention that, because this weekend we're actually going to Palestine, Ohio, to go and investigate the chemical spill and kind of speak with some of the citizens out there and get their insight on what has happened and get a more in-depth perspective. From the ground. Revive America Live in Ohio. So this weekend.
Okay, and one last question. Let's talk a little bit about Pi. What is Pi?
Pi is it's a cryptocurrency that one of my cousins told me about, and it's a way for you to mine. It's a little bit more complicated than I'm going to be able to explain in a short period of time, but it's a cryptocurrency that allows people to mine using their cell phone. It's something I checked out, and it seems pretty interesting. I'm telling my friends about it.
Yeah, I mean, because of you, Billy, I've joined Pi, so now I kind of mine for crypto every day. But it takes like 10 seconds, right? You go on your phone, you turn it on.
It's free. I mean, you got nothing to lose. It's like if the thing goes live and it has some value, hey, you can make some cash. If it doesn't become valuable, screw it. Then you didn't really lose out on anything.
Yeah, I think today, I think as of now, I currently have like 2.8 Pi points or Pi dollars. How do you call it?
whatever it is, pie,
Right.
pie coin, whatever it is.
So if that thing shoots up to like 66,000, then we're all good, right?
Then I guess we're free after that point, man. I guess we're going to Aruba.
Yep. All right, Billy Prempeh, thank you for coming back on for this catch up on what you're doing and everything else. We wish you the best of luck on your endeavors, on your campaign and everything else. If our viewers and listeners want to catch you and learn more about your campaign, where would they go?
Check me out, some guy named Bill on Instagram, Billy Prempeh on Facebook, Billy Prempeh on Twitter, Billy Prempeh on everything else.
Okay. And if you so happen to be in Patterson, I don't think you can miss Billy. He's a pretty big guy. So
pretty big guy. I'm a nice guy, though.
Yep. He's a gentle giant. All right, Billy, thank you so much, and we'll catch up with you soon, okay?
Likewise, brother. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching and listening to Real Talk with Ronnie. To watch and learn more about our show, including ways to contact us and how you can be a guest, go to realtalkronnie.com.